Another question. It's an easy question. If the mark of God, the seal of God is the law, what is the mark of the beast?
Sin.
Oh, very good. Thank you. I thought you were going to say something else. I thought he was going to come out with a microchip. The law. What is the mark of the beast? Law. What is the mark of the beast?
Sin.
Oh, very good. Thank you. I thought you were going to say something else. I thought he was going to come out with a microchip. I said, if this guy...
My name? It's not too important.
We're gonna hear some beeps.
What I'm about to tell you, it's extremely important. I'm one of the first people to get a Neuralink implant in my skull. If you guys can see and don't really know what a Neuralink is, it's kind of like an electronic chip from Elon Musk embedded in your skull. At first it was kind of like a Fitbit, kept track of vital signs, stuff that was going on in my body. Eventually it's gotten to a point where I can move a mouse without even touching a computer. I can connect, I can download, I can transfer information. I'm not the only person that has one of these now, and now we can communicate. This is what's going to happen for the rest of the world. Eventually, this technology will be, maybe not in you, your kids, your grandkids. This is what's coming next. Welcome to the year 2025.
Yeah. It's almost June, and there you have it. All right. The RFID microchip is right around the corner, and you have Nathaniel, all right, which really, he's just working for Esau, all right. He's still spreading that bullshit. He knows that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, all right, but really he's just a sellout, all right. He took the bag, and he's lying about the RFID microchip not being the mark of the beast. All right, so now he's continuing tell a lot of BS, which really he's just adding and taking away from the scriptures. All right, and yeah. There's a lot of MOTB updates, all right? But yeah, also Apple is basically having a brain chip, all right, that is made to be implanted into humans, all right? So that's on the news, that's something to look out for too. All right, because hey, this RFID microchip, is a major prophecy that's about to come to pass, and there's going to be something worldwide. All right, something made up. It's something that is real, and it will come to pass according to the scriptures. But it says Apple is collaborating with the companies like Cycron to develop a standard for brain-computer interfaces (BCIS), allowing users to control devices with their thoughts. This is being done by creating BCI Human Interface Device (BCI HID) profile that recognizes neural interfaces as a native input method. Specifically, Cyclon's stentroid implant, which is inserted through the vein in the brain, is being used to demonstrate this technology. But yeah, a lot of people like Apple and shit. When Apple really just pushes this, and when they, start making this, the next development, right? A lot of people are gonna feel like it's all cool, and they're gonna start taking this brain chip implant. But yeah, basically, Esau already has this, technology already, the RFID microchip, and Elon Musk, is also has that, Neuralink, right? So people are getting basically tested, but yeah, I'd say that a lot of people already have them brain chip implants, but yeah, the mark of the beast is here, right? Because people use this RFID microchip to buy and sell. Right? They use it in order to get by. As what is spoken about in Revelations the 13th and 16th verse. Right? That no man can buy or sell save he that had the mark. And there's no way that it can be sent because that would be ridiculous as fuck. Right? It's talking about something physical. Revelations 13 and 16. But you go into that word, that mark, right? Goes into charagma, but it says a stamp, an imprinted mark, basically an incision. And noticing Esau, he has took that word out, right? It's supposed to say incision, meaning in the cutting in the flesh, right? So this mark is something physical, right? That will soon be implemented underneath of people's skin. Or, right here, of the mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand as a badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. And we're coming to that point where this RFID microchip will become something that will be implemented as something mandatory, right? Here you got Esau. He's gonna do away with pennies and paper checks, and this economy is crashing and all. And meanwhile, and you can also see Esau, or according to what you see in the news, really he's trying to implement a new, and it's digital, and lo and behold, right? That is the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast. And there you go. In the scriptures, all right, those who take it, all right, are gonna die. Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented by fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So yeah, if you take this RFID microchip, the Lord is going to destroy your ass, right? By the way of that lake of fire, by the way of nuclear missiles and the chariots, beaming laser beams down here in America and all over across the world as well. In the smoke of their torment, the skin up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. And then, there's two different marks that are in the scriptures. Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. You go into this word mark in this scripture, right? It goes into a mark, a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. Tawa, the mark of Tawa. And those who have the mark of Tawa, alright, is the Lord's elect. Alright, they're going to be the ones that are going to be exempt from judgment. But as for the rest of the world, alright, they're going to be tormented with fire and brimstones. Alright, they're going to be tormented, alright, with, the trial. Well, they're going to be tormented with the tribulation, with the calamity that the Lord is about to bring upon this wicked world. Alright, upon 2/3 of our people, right, these heathens, Esau. Alright. But yeah, the prophecies are no longer tearing. Alright, real soon you're gonna see this become something. Esau's about to like really, alright, he's about to really introduce this on a real global scale. This is gonna catch people's attention, alright? And just like what Apostle Tahar has said, those who, especially IUIC, those who taught the R50 microchip that is not the mark of the beast, or they're gonna have a lot of explaining to do when this device, alright, becomes mandatory, alright, in the nearby future. Could be a matter of months when it comes to pass. Alright, well, it's already here, but I'm talking about when it becomes mandatory, because this is something that is going to be made mandatory. Alright, but nonetheless, just wanted to do a quick update, alright, because you see what Esau is really, you see what Esau is doing. He's trying to make this become the new norm. Alright, and through problem reaction solution, right, he's gonna actually have people taking this device, because a lot of these people are going to fold. Alright, when calamity hits them, when they can't eat, alright, when they're not able to, these people are gonna seek for security. These people are gonna be seeking for food, alright, in these last days, and they're gonna end up folding and taking this RFID microchip. Nonetheless, that was just it to that lesson. I hope it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, and Shalom.